Argentina are not closing an era.
El fútbol sigue, la selección argentina sigue y tiene que seguir compitiendo.
They are preparing the next one. Between 2021 and 2026, La Albiceleste reached 5 major finals, 2 Copa Americas, 1 Finalissima, and 2 World Cups. They won 4 South American champions, Intercontinental champions, World champions. Then, 4 years after Qatar, they reached another World Cup final. The defeat against Spain ended the dream of back-to-back titles, but it did not erase what this generation had built. This was not one great tournament. Argentina learned how to live in finals. That is why 2030 should create excitement, not fear.
Las futuras generaciones se haga eco de esto. Porque nosotros ese ADN lo tenemos.
Yes, several heroes will leave. Nicolas Otamendi has already closed his chapter. Tagliafico, Paredes, De Paul, Lo Celso and other symbols of the Scalonetta would reach the next World Cup at difficult ages. Emiliano Martinez would be 37. And then there is Lionel Messi. Messi needs an asterisk. In 2030 he would be 43. Logic says he will not be there, but logic stopped working with Messi years ago. People said leaving Barcelona was the end. He responded by making Argentina world champions. People said moving to Miami meant leaving elite football. Then, at 39, he produced 8 goals and 4 assists at the 2026 World Cup, 12 goal contributions. The most influential attacker in the tournament. If Messi wants one final madness, the decision will be his. But even without Lionel Messi, Argentina are not finished. The next team already has a spine. Cristian Romero and Lisandro Martinez would both be 32 in 2030, an ideal age for centre-backs. QT has just produced 6 goals and 4 assists while maintaining the aggression that defines him. He steps forward, anticipates and attacks the ball before the striker can settle. Lisandro offers the left foot, line-breaking passing and the ability to move into midfield during the build-up. Together they can lead the next defence. Dibu may continue in goal, but Santiago Beltran's already emerging behind him. At 21 he played 27 matches, conceded 21 goals and kept 13 clean sheets. He is left-footed, 1.91 metres tall and looks like a genuine future option. At right back, Agustin Gié offers energy, running power and aggression in the press. By 2030 he would still be only 26, but midfield could become Argentina's greatest strength. Enzo Fernandez would be 29, Alexis Mac Allister would be 31. Both would arrive in complete maturity. Enzo produced 15 goals and 7 assists for Chelsea last season. He is no longer only an organiser, he breaks lines, attacks the box and decides matches. Mac Allister played 55 times for Liverpool with 5 goals and 7 assists. He can play as a 6, an 8 or an advanced midfielder, resist pressure and accelerate attacks with vertical passes. Behind them, Maximo Perrone offers control as a left-footed holding midfielder. He played 41 matches for Como, scoring 3 goals and providing 4 assists. Valentin Barco produced 3 goals and 9 assists for Strasbourg. He is no longer simply a left-back. He is becoming a midfielder who can carry, combine and break lines. Replacing Messi's creativity will never be the job of one player. It will have to be shared. Nico Paz could become the central figure. He finished the season with 13 goals and 8 assists for Como. He receives between the lines, turns towards goal and can play as a number 10 or move inside from the right. He does not need to become the new Messi. Nobody can. But he can connect midfield and attack, and Argentina have more weapons around him. Franco Mastantuono already has Real Madrid experience at 18. Claudio Echeverri will return to Manchester City after his loans. Matias Soulé produced 7 goals and 8 assists for Roma, while Alejandro Garnacho added 6 goals and 3 assists for Chelsea. Mastantuono brings patience and vision. Echeverri brings close control and central carries. Soulé brings dribbling and disguised passes. Garnacho brings pure speed in transition. Argentina will not replace Messi with one copy. They can divide his influence between several profiles.
Que se sientan muy cómodos, trataremos de hacer lo mejor posible para que ellos se sientan muy bien.
And this is not all. The youth teams continue producing players such as Gianluca Prestiani, Maher Carrizo, Alejo Sarco, Aaron Anselmino, Milton Delgado, and Julio Soler. Some will make it, others will not. And Argentina probably still do not know every player who will reach 2030. 4 years before the 2026 World Cup, Lamine Yamal and Pau Cubarsí had not even begun their senior careers. The next Argentine star may not have debuted yet, but in attack, 2 leaders are already there. Julian Alvarez finished the season with 20 goals and 9 assists. He presses, combines and attacks the space behind defenders. Lautaro Martinez produced 22 goals and 6 assists for Inter and has already scored 38 times for Argentina. By 2030, Julian would be 30 and Lautaro 32. They would not be prospects. They would be 2 complete strikers in their prime. Argentina are not searching for everything. They already have elite defenders, midfielders, creators, wide attackers, and proven goal scorers. The biggest question is Lionel Scaloni.
Y creo que es justo que me pueda tomar este tiempo y pensarlo.
His contract ends in December 2026, and he has left open the possibility of taking a break. Argentina have internal alternatives such as Pablo Aimar, Walter Samuel, and Diego Placente, but the best decision would be to keep the man who created this culture.
Creo que a mí me encantaría, porque Scaloni y todo el cuerpo técnico los conozco, sobre todo como son como personas, y sé que la selección con ellos
Scaloni has proved he can renew without destroying. He introduces young players without giving positions away, protects competition, and keeps the squad hungry after winning. Many champions become comfortable. Scaloni's Argentina reached another World Cup final. That is not coincidence. That is culture. Argentina will not arrive in 2030 rebuilding from zero. They will arrive with world champions, 2026 finalists, players established at major European clubs, and a younger generation already producing elite performances. And that should terrify everyone, because the most dangerous national teams are not those with one great generation. They are those capable of replacing it without losing their identity. This is not the same Argentina. But the next great Argentina is already being born. When Lionel Scaloni took charge of Argentina in 2018, almost nobody believed in him.
Que tu título, sí, no tenías el título habilitante de entrenador. Quería saber si podrías aclarar esta cuestión para desasnar estas dudas.
Tienen que haber traído el carné.
The national team had just left the World Cup in Russia completely broken. There was frustration, division, and one painful question. How could Argentina have Lionel Messi and still fail to become champions? They had not won a major trophy since the 1993 Copa America. 28 years of disappointment. Then Scaloni arrived without a major managerial career, top-flight experience, or even the certainty that he would keep the job. Many saw him as a temporary solution. He became one of the most important managers in Argentina's history. His first major tournament was the 2019 Copa America. Argentina lost the semi-final against Brazil, but something began there. Scaloni did not build a perfect team. He built a group. He understood that Argentina did not need another collection of famous names. They needed trust. He surrounded Messi with younger, hungry players willing to run for him, while removing the burden of having to do everything alone. That was the beginning of the Scaloneta. Then came 2021. Argentina defeated Brazil at the Maracanã and ended 28 years of pain. Angel Di Maria scored. Argentina held on, and Messi finally lifted an international trophy. It was more than a victory, it was Messi crying with happiness. It was Scaloni embracing the players who had believed in a project everyone else had doubted. Argentina were champions again. At Wembley they beat Italy 3-0 in the Finalissima and proved that the champions of South America could dominate the champions of Europe. Then came Qatar. The defeat against Saudi Arabia looked like the return of every old ghost. But this team no longer broke under pressure. Argentina beat Mexico,
Lionel Messi,
and Poland,
chance for the shot,
survived Australia,
in by Goodwin, Koal!
won the battle against the Netherlands,
Epic, Lautaro Martinez,
and destroyed Croatia.
Messi away from Guardiola.
Then they survived one of the greatest World Cup finals ever played against France. On December 18th, 2022, Scaloni made Argentina world champions for the first time in 36 years. And even then, he was not satisfied. In 2024, Argentina won the Copa America again. Messi left the final against Colombia injured and in tears, but the team kept fighting. Lautaro Martinez scored the winner. That moment explained Scaloni's greatest transformation. Argentina still had the greatest player of all time, but they were no longer only Messi. They were Dibu Martinez, Cristian Romero, De Paul, Paredes, Enzo Fernandez, McAllister, Julian Alvarez, Lautaro, and every player willing to sacrifice for the man next to him. Before the 2026 World Cup final, Scaloni had managed 103 matches, 76 wins, 217 goals scored, only 56 conceded, 61 clean sheets, and a 36-match unbeaten run, the longest in Argentina's history. But even those numbers cannot fully explain what he changed. Scaloni gave the national team back to the people. He turned anxiety into pride, dependence into togetherness, and painful eliminations into a habit of reaching finals. 2 Copa Americas, 1 Finalissima, 1 World Cup, and in 2026, another World Cup final. He became the first Argentine manager since Carlos Bilardo to reach consecutive World Cup finals. That is not luck, that is culture. The defeat against Spain hurt. Scaloni cried and admitted that after completing his contract, he would need time to consider his future.
Cumpliré el contrato y después veo, la verdad que
For the first time in years, Argentina felt a different fear, not the fear of losing another final, the fear of losing the man who had built everything. But his story cannot be judged by one painful night. Scaloni received a broken Argentina and returned a family of champions. He protected Messi, trusted young players, and created a team where nobody was bigger than the group. He inherited a country that had forgotten how to celebrate and gave it some of the happiest years in its football history. That is why, if he still has the strength, he must stay. Messi will eventually leave. Several heroes will say goodbye, a new generation will need guidance, and nobody understands this team's culture better than the man who created it. Lionel Scaloni did not simply teach Argentina how to win, he taught them how to trust each other, how to suffer without breaking, and most importantly, how to believe again. Right now, the most important position in Argentina is not striker, goalkeeper, or number 10. It is the bench, because the road to 2030 depends on one question. Will Lionel Scaloni stay? If he continues, his next mission will be completely different from the one he accepted in 2018. Back then, he inherited a broken national team. Now he would inherit his own masterpiece. Scaloni would have to repeat what made his first rebuild successful. Identify which experienced players can still lead Argentina and surround them with the young generation pushing for places. The good news is that Argentina do not need to start from scratch. Emiliano Martinez could still provide leadership from goal. Cristian Romero and Lisandro Martinez have the quality, aggression, and World Cup experience to command the defence. Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister should become the permanent owners of midfield. Up front, Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez can continue providing goals, pressing, and two different attacking profiles. They would become the bridge between two eras. Around them, Argentina already have Nico Paz, Franco Mastantuono, Matias Soulé, Claudio Echeverri, Alejandro Garnacho, Valentin Barco, Maximo Perrone, and Agustin Jai. Not all will develop at the same speed or become starters, but they prove something important. Argentina already have the raw material for their next great team, and Scaloni has shown that he knows how to manage this transition. When he arrived, he did not remove every experienced player overnight. He gradually introduced footballers with little international experience, allowed them to learn beside the senior figures, and gave them responsibility when they were ready. That should be the method again. Do not erase the champions, use them to prepare their replacements. But there is another possibility. After the 2026 final, Scaloni admitted that he needed time to think and questioned whether it was possible to build something this special again. If he leaves, Argentina must not panic. The worst decision would be to destroy the project in search of an immediate revolution. The priority should be protecting the culture Scaloni created. That is why Pablo Aimar, Walter Samuel, and Diego Placente are the most natural options. Aimar has been part of the project since 2018. He understands the tactical decisions, knows the dressing room, and has a special relationship with Messi and the younger players. His appointment would provide emotional and footballing continuity. Walter Samuel would offer authority, defensive knowledge, and a deep understanding of the squad. As Scaloni's assistant, he has contributed to tactical preparation, training sessions, set pieces, and substitutions. His quiet leadership could be exactly what Argentina need during a difficult transition. Placente offers something different. He knows the youth system. He has worked with Argentina's under-15, under-17, and under-20 teams, and knows many of the players who could reach the senior side. His football is based on possession, technical quality, and developing the personality of the Argentine player. He could connect the next generation directly with the first team. Argentina could also look outside the current structure. Marcelo Gallardo would bring intensity, bravery, and experience, rebuilding competitive teams. Diego Simeone would offer character, discipline, and a clear defensive identity. Mauricio Pochettino would bring international experience and a strong record with young players. Nestor Lorenzo understands South American football and international management. Gabriel Heinze would demand aggressive pressing, commitment, and a bold style. Each would create a different Argentina, but whoever gets the job will receive something that seemed impossible in 2018. A healthy national team, a winning culture, experienced champions, and a young generation already producing at major European clubs. That is why Argentina should not fear the future. If Scaloni stays, he can complete another masterpiece by renewing the team without destroying its identity. If he leaves, Aimar, Samuel, or Placente could protect the structure from within. And if Argentina choose an external manager, Gallardo, Simeone, Pochettino, Lorenzo, and Heinze are all serious alternatives, the decision will be massive. And there is still one final possibility: Lionel Messi. By 2030, he would be 43. For any normal footballer, another World Cup would sound impossible. But Messi stopped being normal a long time ago. Even if he no longer plays every minute, his presence, experience and connection with the group could make the dream even bigger. The decision will be his, but Argentina's future no longer depends entirely on him. That may be Scaloni's greatest legacy. He created a national team strong enough to survive the eventual departure of the greatest player who ever lived. The road to 2030 will bring goodbyes, difficult decisions and sooner or later a new manager. This will not be the same Argentina. It may not have Otamendi, De Paul, Paredes, Messi or even Scaloni, and that should worry everyone.